Oh, you hear that? That is another hot and fresh episode of the RR Show. My name is Vince, and we've got some fun stories for you today. Let's get into it here. We've got 2 confessions to start off with, and then we're going to go into 2 entitles, the entitled files, people and parents. So this is going to be fun. Let's get at it. From r/confession, posted by user RoseThorn666. I scammed Temu, and now I lost $5,000. Okay, so I thought I was scamming Temu, but now I'm in debt. Not actually, LMAO, but here's how the story went. I had like $1 in my account, and there was something I really wanted that was $1.89. So I thought, we'll just see what happens. So I bought it, looked at my account, and I still had $1 in my account. I was thinking, that's strange, but I didn't think anything of it. Fast forward, I get $10, so I do what any other irresponsible kid does. I spent it as soon as I got it. Bought the items, but I still had 11. So I'm thinking it's probably not going through. So I get the package, but check my account, and there, staring right back at me, was the crisp digits of 11. So I'm thinking this is an absolute miracle. I go ballistic, buying stuff I could never imagine affording, electric guitar and other items. These packages are getting delivered, but my money stays. Then one day, go to school absolutely bawling with my Temu accessories. My mom calls me in the middle of class. We just lost $500. I am so scared. I tried canceling my orders, but nothing's working. I'm freaking out. My friends are laughing at me. My mom is screaming. It didn't take $500 from my account. It took it from my dearest mothers. When I got home that day, I was sworn to never see the light of day again. Moral of the story: don't try scamming Temu. From r/confession, posted by user Dids the Cat. Pun intended, this one is short but sweet. I used to steal candy from my teacher that she used to reward good behavior for. Okay, so my classroom in elementary always had a jar full of candies that my teacher would keep on her desk to give out to kids who behaved well, did good work, or maybe scored higher than usual on the weekly spelling test. During lunch times, I would ask to go to the toilet while everyone was outside. I never did. They never kept classrooms locked at my school, so when I was going to the toilet, I really just used to go to my teacher's desk and take a handful of candy. My teacher obviously noticed that candy was disappearing quicker than she was giving it out, and she never asked whoever it was to confess. I never came forward, and as a result, she stopped having the candy jar. I felt bad for a couple of years afterwards, but never really anymore because it was 20 years ago. From r/entitled people, That One Donut 88 is the poster. The title: Karen tells me I'm enabling a homeless man. So we have our fair share of homeless people in my town. The usual. Ones at the end of exit ramps with signs, or at the lights at the end of highways. Usually I don't give anything because realistically, usually don't have anything to give. But yesterday, I had a decent day and actually found myself with a couple of bucks on hand. I see one particular man at the end of a freeway light often, and I know some of his story. He does use any money collected to purchase food or drinks, not alcohol that I've seen, and will accept items graciously, not just cash. So I pull up to the light, wave him over, and hand him the $4 that I had. He thanks me and happens to walk across the intersection to the same gas station I'm heading to in the first place. I go in to get gas, he grabs some of the hot food and a cheap fountain drink. All good, right? No. In comes Karen. The typical look and everything. Big sunglasses, the haircut, yoga pants, all of it. She immediately storms over to the register and demands a manager. I'm only mildly paying attention because I just need gas. Manager comes forward, and this woman points that ugly orange-red long nail at me. I need police here. That woman gave that drug addict money outside of your establishment. And a slew of other really random and ever-growing nonsense. At this point, the 3 other customers, me, the man I helped, and now a very interested customer are staring at her. Manager looks so confused. So I chimed in. I said, regardless that it isn't her business, I gave the guy a few bucks across the street, and he's buying food. Manager's like, okay. Karen isn't happy. She is screaming that obviously the station is a front for drugs and all sorts of crazy shiz. At this point, I've lost interest. Man buys his food, walks out. I get to the register, ask for gas. Is Karen done? No. She demands that if I'm going to pay for his drugs, then I need to buy her gas. She tells the cashier and manager to put I think 40 on whatever pump she was at on my dime and storms out. We all just blink. I chuckled a bit and told him how much gas I needed. I was going to ignore it, but I'm petty. I said, put $1 on her pump. Her screaming when the pump stopped at $1 was beautiful. I got my gas and left while she was storming back into the station. Best dollar I've ever wasted. And glad she didn't actually harass the poor guy just trying to eat. From r/entitled parents, posted by user Bouncing in the Middle. Crazy mother trying to get me fired from my volunteer position for helping her kid. I'm active in a local scholastic chess organization. We set up some formal lessons, provide a place for kids to play or study chess in a more casual setup, and occasionally organize tournaments. We work through the local school system, so we get something of a leg up compared to other similar organizations, as we have venues, some advertising, and a degree of administrative work already done with the schools themselves. I played with this league as a kid myself, and now that I'm an adult, I do some volunteer work for them. Last Sunday we had a tournament, 5-round Swiss system, G/30. So this was an event that lasted most of the day. I was running the under 12 division, which is mostly making sure the kids don't claw each other's eyes out, getting things set up and cleaned up after it's done, and doing the pairings as each round finishes and the next one ends. Because it's an all-day affair, while some parents stay all or most of the time, it's far more common for parents just to drop off their kids in the morning and pick them up at 4:30 when things finish. So when things were wrapping up, I was handing out trophies for first, second, and third place. Okay, our second place trophy winner had no parent in sight and was just kind of awkwardly holding his bag and his trophy looking around. Parents are supposed to be there by 4:30, but we had about 80 kids in just my division of this tournament. So I knew that the odds that at least one will be late are pretty high, and I wasn't worried. I asked the kid if he had a phone. He didn't. Asked if he knew how to reach one of his parents. Got his mom's number. Called, went to voicemail. Left a message reminding her the tournament was over and she needed to pick up her kid. I can't leave if there are any children there, so I got to doing some cleanup, which the kid offered to help with. Took maybe 20 minutes to pack everything up. Still no sign of mom. I still can't leave. So I got one of the sets back out and asked if he wanted to play a casual game or do a puzzle or anything. He asked if we could go over some of his tournament games, and we spent about the next 20 to 25 minutes analyzing one of his games from the tournament. I'm no grandmaster, but I'm a pretty strong player. So even though he won this game, there were quite a few errors in his play, and I was trying to demonstrate what he could have done better. The kid takes instruction well, and is actually making notes on a score sheet. Note, for people who don't play chess and tournament games, you write down each move after you make it on a sheet of paper. This is done primarily so there's a record in case there's a dispute as to what the position is in. It also helps you review the games later like we wound up doing. Our analysis is interrupted by a woman's voice shouting, "You there! What are you doing with my son?" I look up and we have our entitled mother. She didn't look like a stereotypical Karen, but she definitely had the tone and mannerisms of one. I got up, congratulated her son in front of her for taking second place in the division, and explained how we were going over one of his games while we were waiting for her kid to show up. Kid chimes in with how I helped him realize a few mistakes, and you could see the gear turning in the entitled mother's brain. After a second, she bellows out, "You can't do that to a kid. If you mix positive messaging and negative messaging, you'll give him a complex. I know what I'm talking about. I have a degree in psychology." That took me off guard, but I wanted to finish cleaning up and go home. So I just said how it's already past 5 and I wanted to finish cleaning up, and I was sure the kid wanted to get home. Surprisingly, the entitled mother did not want to stay and pick a fight further, simply getting her kid and leaving. I figured that was the end of it. Not a pleasant experience, but a short one. Well, I was wrong. She sent her organization 21 separate emails demanding that I be fired. Her degree in psychology lets her know how damaging I could be to her precious boy, and how I'll rob him of any desire to keep playing by confusing him. It's apparently abusive to tell a child that even though he won a game, and that's great, there are better moves he could have played during that game to improve his play. She's already gone through this kind of crap with a coach her husband hired for the lad. She's fired him, and now she wants the league to fire me too. Today's emails have taken a new tone. She must have found out somehow that the kid helped me clean up, because instead of strident demands I be fired on the basis of profound psychological harm I've done to her kid, they now claim that we violated child labor laws and she'll report us to the state labor board. But she'd be happy not to if they take the reasonable step of dismissing me. I know there's nutty parents around chess, but this is the first time I've had a prolonged close exposure to one. I'm not worried at all, but I feel bad for the kid. He was nice and respectful, and part of me wonders where he gets it from because he certainly doesn't get it from his mother. And no, he wasn't showing any signs of distress from me analyzing a game with him. So thanks for being with us. The RR Show is a production of Evergreen Podcasts and Wessler Media. Now, if you'd be so kind, please follow or subscribe to our show wherever you get your podcasts. And if you're feeling extra nice, you might as well leave a 5-star review. But for more, visit the website, rrshow.com. That is rrshow.com. I'm your host, Vince. Thank you to my producer, Kevin, and we'll see you next time here on the RR Show.